Lyndsey Smith with RealAgriculture.com. I'm joined today by Carrie on my left and Jeff on my right, and we are talking about, well, what did you name this?
It's the RRV Canola Disk.
Standing for Red River Valley?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so tell me first what problem this solves.
This solves the problem of going slow planting canola and also giving you the capability of planting canola properly.
Okay, so up until, so last year was the first year that you used this disc on your farms plus two others. What were you using before this, and what were the issues with it?
We were using a sugar beet disc before. The issues with the sugar beet discs is it doesn't singulate properly, and you have to travel slow when you're planting.
Like really slow?
Really slow. Yeah. Also, parts wear out a lot faster.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And so specifically the teardrop shape of the sugar beet disc, really you were ending up with multiples, right? So you weren't getting true singulation, and going 3 miles per hour isn't exactly super productive.
It's not, no. It's not efficient.
No. Okay, so now tell me about the RRV disc. So what's different about this?
I can.
Yeah. Our disc has 90 cells on it, which, well, obviously it doubles the sugar beet disc, which allows us to speed up our ground speed while keeping the rate up. The other thing on our disc is we have a round hole that we designed specifically for canola that doesn't pick up as many doubles, if any doubles at all. It truly singulates it.
Okay, and so now, so certainly you can up your ground speed, still achieve that singulation, and they are round, so you've eliminated the teardrop problem. Any issues with seed size? Is there sort of a best range for seed size?
With sugar beet disc, we generally had problems where if you had anything 4.5 grams or smaller, it would suck the seed right through the disc into the vacuum tubes on the planter. And with ours, our hole is much smaller. So you can go, we recommend 4 grams per thousand or bigger, but we have seen in testing smaller with questionable results.
Right, okay, so certainly, but I mean, really average seed size, we're looking in that 4 to 5.5, so definitely
4 or bigger,
well.
anything larger works good.
Okay, and so now, so you guys both tested this on your farms last year, plus 2 other farms that tried it, so about 2,000 acres that went in. And so what were the results like last year? Were you happy with it?
Everybody was really happy with it. It took a little bit to make sure that the settings were proper and everything. We were the first ones to try it. And what we found is that 4 inches of vacuum, and I think it was 2 or 3 CCS fan, eh?
Approximately,
2 or 3 inches on the CCS fan was the best settings for it. Once we had that figured out, it worked exactly the way we wanted it to.
And so now this is for John Deere planters.
Yes. John Deere planters only.
Our rolling wheel design is the exact same as what John Deere uses for sugar beets and corn. And sorghum, I believe.
Yeah.
So with our parts, there's no modification of this housing itself. It's bolt and go.
Same way you would put in a soybean disc or a corn disc.
And another common question with this is static buildup on the plastic disc. We find that if you spray this surface with an aerosol graphite, that problem solved, and you only have to do it once a year. It covers up any of the smooth spots where static tends to build up, so that's how that's kind of taken care of.
Perfect. All right, we're just going to head in. We'll take a bit of a tour on the actual unit, and yeah. Okay, guys, so walk me through what we're looking at and the features of your disc for this planter.
Well, you're looking at I believe it's called a Pro Series row unit on a CCS fed John Deere planter. And essentially your seed comes down this pipe right here into this little yellow box, and then it sits in the bottom of this housing right here. And then our disc clamps right into here like such. And then your seed is picked up on this side of the disc. It rolls around and it's held by vacuum by the door here. And then it drops down this tube into the ground. That's basically how a vacuum planter works. And our disc, it does have a knockout wheel like what Carrie's holding here. And that rolls on the suction side of the disc, so any garbage that plugs these holes will get poked out The wheel mounts right there, and that would be in this voided area. So there's no suction there, so any stuff will fall off. As it comes back around, this brush will also clean off any little bits of like this canola yeast stuff that plugs the holes.
That's a technical term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of the treated coating sometimes falls off. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so now you guys did roll out between the two of your farms about 1,000 acres on your own, another 1,000 on other farms. Are you noticing a difference in the canola stands from the singulation from the planter? Like, do you like the job it does more than the air seeder?
Oh yes, the plant stand is very, very good. It's last year we had about an inch apart, and it was a phenomenal canola stand, and we found that we had a better yield with it as well, and we were going about 3 pounds an acre versus 5 pounds with our 1895 air drill. So we found that there was a huge benefit to that. There's a couple other things, also swathability. We found that swathing was actually easier because all the plants were standing up straight. With being spaced evenly, the stalks are actually, I find, stronger because they're bigger, because they're not all tied really, really close together in bunches, and then there's these gaps, right? So then we found swathing was a little bit easier. So the other point I was going to bring up is because we think we have more even germination, that it also makes it easier to do your fungicide application because the plant isn't so stagey. It all comes up at the same time, therefore the plant is all at the same stage when you want to put your fungicide. It makes it really easy to make that decision as to when to spray, also when to swath, because then you don't have these green areas and then these really ripe areas. Everything is all at the same stage, so that decision there makes it a lot easier.
And we've also heard from a few agronomists that you'll even have better disease control because of the standing, the big stalks, and the ability of the air to move through the field with either 50. We're on 15-inch rows. He's on 20, and we did other testing on 22-inch. So with that much room between the plants and between the rows themselves, it just stands better, and the air can move. The ground dries out. It works very well.
Great. Okay, thanks so much, guys.